begin again, my name's Lisa Miller. I'm the Lighthouse Guild Outreach and Referral Coordinator, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker. And so starting with some of the resources, we have vision and healthcare services, we have direct services and telehealth services. That means by phone or Zoom in all 5 boroughs of New York City, as well as in Albany, Buffalo, and Niagara Falls. There are support services for people of all ages with vision impairment or blindness, and we have training programs for professionals and caregivers. This is just an overview, more to come. So we start out with the idea of vision and aging. There are normal changes for people as adults age. People may notice they're having difficulty reading their mail, reading their newspapers, reading signs. They may see they need more light when they're reading or have problems with glare. And these changes may be simple signs of aging that happen to many people, or they may indicate more serious problems. And we cannot know ourselves. Individuals cannot tell the difference, but an eye doctor can. And one of the most important things is for people to get regular eye exams. These are some of the kinds of common illnesses that people can get, and they come up slowly sometimes, and people don't want to see that something is going wrong. But here's some of the things that you may notice or someone may notice. Age-related macular degeneration, also known as AMD. It's the leading cause of vision loss among Americans age 65 and older. There's a dry kind and a wet kind, and they have different kinds of treatments. And the result of it is, oops, I pushed the wrong button. The result of it is central field loss. So you can see with the arrow that in the center of the field, there's a black scotoma. It's kind of like blocking what's right in front of you. People have difficulty seeing fine detail, and this can be impacted by sun exposure. Second most common eye condition is glaucoma. Glaucoma is the leading cause of blindness among African Americans and Hispanics. 90% of glaucoma-related blindness is preventable. However, 10% of people will lose their vision regardless of treatment, which generally starts with eye drops. Peripheral or side vision can be reduced. So this is a common view, typical view of what happens with glaucoma. You can see the darkness around the edges of the field of vision, and that's peripheral vision. And it can affect someone's ability to get around safely. And it can also decrease their perception of contrast. So it's not easy to tell the difference between the gray of the sidewalk and the gray of the roadway when you're stepping off a curb, which can lead to falls. And that's certainly something we want to make sure people can avoid. As we get older, we certainly don't want to fall more. Cataracts. Cataracts cause vision problems primarily after age 60. As you can see from the photo here, it's a cloudy vision across the visual field. This also distorts color perception, and it may impact safety in mobility, getting around, and also it may impact reading. It's difficult to see details for letters, and most cataracts can be surgically removed. Of course, there's always the concern that there are other underlying eye conditions, so generally the surgery is done one eye at a time to be careful. But many people report their vision actually improves significantly after their cataract surgery. Diabetic retinopathy, the leading cause of legal blindness for people ages 20 to 74. This comes from complications of type 1 and type 2 diabetes and can cause multiple vision impairments. You can see from the photo, there are some loss of peripheral vision and black scotomas throughout the visual field, blocking vision. And it may impact someone's ability to recognize faces, to see text, and to manage medication, which it's hard to read and see the names of. So low vision is defined as vision loss that cannot be corrected to normal with medication, surgery, or with conventional eyeglasses or contact lenses. Low vision is a functional loss. Even people who are legally blind can have low vision. So what I'd like to say about a functional loss is that people lose their ability to function in certain normal ways. It's sometimes difficult to see the microwave buttons because the contrast on the buttons and the numbers is impossible to decipher. And people have difficulty seeing faces and reading money and walking on the street safely. So, and then this other point with even people who are legally blind can have low vision. Legal blindness is a determination made only by an eye doctor. And the main parameters for legal blindness are that a person sees 20/200 in their better eye, or they have problems with their visual field that's impacted, whether it's the peripheral field vision loss or the scotomas in the middle of the visual field. And only a doctor can make that determination. A low vision is usable vision. So even people that are legally blind, if they have some usable vision, there is potential to rehabilitate that vision with special glasses, special magnifiers, even technology, high-tech items. So here's the topic for the day: sun exposure and your eyes. Overexposure to UV light from the sun can cause damage to the eye, and it may not be immediately evident, just like sunburn. People whose eyes have been sun damaged may be more at risk for developing the following conditions: cataracts, lens clouding, blurred vision, vision loss, night blindness, and photokeratitis. What is photokeratitis? It's a sunburn on your eyes. This condition is also called snow blindness because it can be caused in the winter by sunlight reflecting off the snow. Symptoms may include pain in the eye, headache, sensitivity to bright light, redness, tearing or swelling, grittiness, twitching eyelids, and seeing halos. Again, that's called sunburn on your eyes, causing difficulty perceiving what's in front of you. How can you protect your eyes? So there are some very basic things to do to start. Wear sunglasses whenever you're outside, even on a cloudy day. The benefits of sunglasses are that they prevent damage to the eyes. They keep certain wavelengths of light from entering the eye. They reduce the amount of light reaching against the eye. They protect against harmful UV light, and the sunglasses decrease glare and increase contrast. How can you protect your eyes? Another way is to wear headwear that guards your eyes from powerful rays. And you can see in the photo, there's a woman with very good headgear. She has a visor going all around the hat. Hat with a wide brim is a very good help. And visors that shield your eyes, like a tennis visor. And the studies show that wearing a hat and sunglasses can decrease ultraviolet exposure by 30%, which is significant, and that's quite protective. When people are selecting sunglasses, there's quite a wide range, and these are some of the things to pay attention for. Checked for ultraviolet A, UVA, and UVB coverage. look for a label that says 100% UV protection against both UVA and UVB, or 100% protection against UV 400. Also, polycarbonate lenses provide the best protection and are impact resistant. They require a prescription from a vision care professional. When playing sports, wear safety sport glasses. Oops, I hear some background sounds. When playing sports, wear safety sport glasses with polycarbonate lenses to guard against UV rays and protect against balls, bats, and other potential hazards. Also, replace sunglasses every 5 to 10 years because tints can fade and lenses get damaged. If you have a vision impairment, speak with your eye doctor to learn which sunglasses best meet your needs. And people with vision impairment and blindness can actually get special prescriptions for sunglasses. Here are some types of absorptive lenses, also known as sunglasses. Wraparounds. If you can see at the photo on the left, the man with the cap and the sunglasses, wraparound, you can see this section on the side of the eye that protects the side from additional light coming in. And they can fit over prescription glasses, and the close-fitting style glasses are the best because they really keep most of the UV out. There's also photochromic transition lenses, which get darker when they're exposed to sunlight. You can see in the photo on the right that they're clear on the indoors, dark when you're outdoors, they darken, and they can incorporate eyeglass prescriptions, and they can be prescribed for people with low vision to help add protection, automatic protection as you step into the light. The types of absorptive lenses. I find this very interesting. Here on the left, you see non-polarized light, and you can see it looks like a very glary, hard to see the contrast image. And then on the right, you can see when it's polarized, a lot of the glare is reduced, and you can see the colors much more vividly. So polarized lenses prevent transmission of light reflected from a smooth surface and that cause glare. And they can help near or on the water in snow or while driving. They can help you when you're looking nearly close up or when you're on the water. To the right, we can see density. Tints come in various letters and colors, and you can see on the upper, it's the density of the color, and on the left is the color itself. So the colors are gray, G5, brown, rose, and yellow. And there's a very light tint, 20%, all the way up to 90%. And they can even be graded, like the gradient column on the right. So people can use various grades of tinting. Tints come in a variety of colors and light transmissions, and they may not work for everyone. Wraparounds and transitions can provide additional solutions. So there's help to be had for everyone. It's just about trying to connect with the eye doctor that can make the determination with you through close communication. The moral of all that is protect your eyes always. Get regular eye exams at least once a year, especially after age 50. And how often you need an exam depends on your individual needs. And if you have or are at risk of developing an eye condition such as diabetic retinopathy. And early detection is always best for treatment of eye conditions and for prevention of vision loss. Vision rehabilitation can help those people that have already experienced vision loss. And there's a lot to be said about that too. Vision rehabilitation services enable people of all ages to make the most use of whatever usable vision remains. Vision rehabilitation helps people adjust to low vision or blindness on many levels in terms of how they function and what kind of supports can help them, and even emotionally. At vision rehabilitation, people are introduced to skills, strategies, and technology to maximize their functioning. And it's always customized to meet the individual's needs, provided both at home and in the community. Usually the first step in vision rehab is a low vision exam. And as I welcome people into the organization, I often say the first open door is the low vision exam, because it gets a lot of information to move a lot of other services forward. Here's an overview of Lighthouse Guild programs and services. The low vision exam is the signature of low vision care. These are functional exams by specially trained low vision optometrists generally. They evaluate remaining vision, including doing a special assessment called a contrast sensitivity assessment. And if you can look at this, the chart that is being pointed to in the photo, at the top, it's a very bold and dark line, and slowly the color softens and it gets less high contrast. So people can be assessed for what their challenges are. People are assessed for their overall vision function in order to make the most use of the remaining vision. Low vision doctors may prescribe optical devices and other devices. That includes spectacles, which are basically glasses, magnifiers, which are sort of handheld, one lens, electronic and high-tech devices, which can be remarkable, field expanding devices that can really help people with peripheral vision loss and other kind of scotomas in their vision, and also non-optical illumination. Optical devices include, as I mentioned, spectacles, hand magnifiers, stand magnifiers, telescopic lenses, absorptive lenses, which are sunglasses, electronic and high-tech devices, field expanding devices to expand the visual field, and non-optical illumination. So non-optical vision devices include writing in large print, such as the list below: milk, bread, coffee, apples, chicken, and rice, using large print when you're writing and when you're reading as well. There are high intensity lamps, such as the one in the upper right-hand corner, that can really make a difference. And of course, people do have to sometimes accommodate to avoid glare, but that can also make a big difference in being able to see more. Signature guides, which are very helpful to finding the line where a person needs to sign, but people also find it very helpful to have the dark as an underline when they're reading to frame the words, which can make it easier to find where they're looking. Writing in black ink makes a big difference. I often recommend to people that they immediately go out and buy some black Sharpies and get a couple of pads and put the back under under the page so it doesn't bleed through, and keep that always available to write down phone numbers and other contact information that you need in your journey. There's bold line paper, as you can see in this image right here. There are talking books, which are available through the Andrew High School Braille and Talking Book Library. They just need a special application for people with vision impairment. And then there's an insulin gauge for people that can get their blood sugars read to them, and it will speak out audibly the numbers for a certain person's insulin. And on the right, there's another little device called a Say When with the little orange plastic top. And inside the cup, there are two little prongs that go in, little metal prongs. And when the liquid rises in the cup and touches the prongs, it makes a beeping sound, and it lets the person know they should stop pouring, which is really a way to help people remain independent when they want to pour themselves a cup of coffee or tea. Low vision exam outcomes include training in the use of prescribed devices, because sometimes people need specific skill to use their specific glasses or even high-tech equipment. Education about their eye condition, their particular eye condition, and the impact it may have on their daily functioning. Recommendations for strategies to prevent injuries and loss of independence when people are moving through their home or through outdoors or getting on the bus. And also what's essential is for those people who qualify as legally blind with impaired vision, they can be registered for the New York State Commission for the Blind if it's appropriate. And I'm actually the person at Lighthouse Guild that does that registration process. And it can make a big difference to get some of the services provided. Every single state has a state commission for the blind and is required to help people remain independent despite blindness. There are also all other kinds of services, and I share my resources readily with whoever wants them. Vision rehab services. We have different training programs to help people regain their functioning and make the most use of their remaining vision, help them be self-sufficient and active. Some of those are center-based, and some of them are in the community. Those who are legally blind may be eligible for sponsorship through the commission, and these programs include academic skills, preparing for higher education, career services to train how to use the technology, including computers and their phones, and then getting placed into jobs in the fields that they're interested in. Orientation and mobility training, the center photo, where the person is learning how to use their white sight cane on steps. Independent living skills training, which includes some skills in the kitchen to be able to safely use a potato peeler, for example. Also, we have our Adaptive Technology Center, which I'll say a little bit more about, where the woman on the right is trying an adaptive technology device that allows someone to see and hear things beyond what regular glasses can do for them. We also have many services at our health center, including the optometry and eye exams. We also have behavioral health services, meaning psychotherapy for individuals and families, occupational therapy for people to try to use different equipment, vision technology. There's diabetes care. We have an endocrinologist and podiatry. We have a primary care physician, and we have another one of our signature programs called Guild Care, an adult day healthcare program for people that are chronically medically ill and need extra support in order to be able to get out of the house and into a social environment with other people. And there's support for that too, especially for clients with Medicaid, which we welcome. And Lighthouse Guild provides services to people with Medicare and Medicaid, and we accept really most insurance plans, and each person's insurance is checked individually to find out what their coverage is in advance, so no one has to worry about getting a surprise bill. Diabetes care for people with vision loss. Diabetes self-management education with special emphasis on those who are blind or at risk of vision loss. That on the right, you can see someone's checking the blood to see what their sugar levels are, and people are introduced to how to use adaptive medical equipment, such as a talking glucometer that reads audibly what your blood sugar is. Behavioral health services. There's all kinds of stigma about getting behavioral health services for people if they haven't had the exposure to it. But once people are exposed to it, it really is like a very normal, healthy part of development is to have someone to talk to when you're feeling stuck emotionally about something that is challenging a person. So there are normal and expected responses to the challenge of vision loss, which include feelings of helplessness or boredom, anger, anxiety, fear, frustration, denial, which is pretending to oneself that it's not even happening, and then basic sadness or depression. We have in-person sessions, we have telemental health services, which means Zoom or even just simply phone, which a lot of people have been taking advantage of. And this is all with people that have expertise in caring for people with vision loss, traumatic brain injury, diabetes, and other chronic medical conditions. The kinds of therapy at our behavioral health clinic includes individual, couples, family therapy. We have psychiatrists that do evaluations to see if someone would benefit from medication, and then ongoing psychopharmacology and medication management. We have groups called Coping with Vision Loss, where people have been meeting for many years to see if they can make better and better adjustments and share their wisdom with people as they enter the group. There's crisis intervention. There's all kinds of social service connections with case management organizations. And we also have a very thriving telesupport network of groups for adults with low vision and also for parents of children with vision impairment. Here again is Guild Care. We have programs in New York City, Albany, Buffalo, and Niagara Falls. Services are available to adults ages 18 and older who have been diagnosed with a chronic medical condition. And the main aim is to offer an alternative to people so they don't have to go to a nursing home where it's a lot harder to get better sometimes. We provide services for people of all ages, including, as I mentioned, the National Telesupport Network of parents, teens, young adults, and adults. We have monthly telesupport presentations for parents. We have a virtual book club with large print books for adults. We have youth and teen programs, and we also have scholarship program for college-bound and graduate students with vision impairment. This is the gem of our eye for right now. The Lighthouse Guild Technology Center was started just to launch a high-tech hub for people to be able to know that they can have access to trying different technology that may or may not help them. And we're actually having occupational therapists who are aware of how to use this different technology on site, always doing evaluations. Those are covered by insurance to see if someone can actually benefit from the technology. Instead of, it's certainly not about selling people things they can't use. This is really acting as gatekeepers to make sure people don't buy useless things and buy things that they really benefit from. We also have their computer and vocational skills training. There are accessibility functions on people's tablets and smartphones that they can learn how to use. There's vision technology education and training. There's also a smart home model where people can try and see what it's like to tell your microwave to turn on for 30 seconds or to tell your refrigerator to freeze up a little higher temperature or lower temperature. And there's also pilot and beta testing of new technology through our research department. So the big question is, when is it time to seek services for people with vision impairment? The way to ask questions is, does someone have significant complaints about difficulties with activities of daily living? Do they have complaints about contrast or night vision? Do people start to feel anxious, depressed, or hopeless about being able to see the things they need to see or do the things they need to do because of their blindness? Do people have legal blindness? Do they qualify already for services and just don't know how to connect to the services? And are there individuals who have not had a physical or eye exam within the past year that would like to just see where they're at and see if maybe they can just get glasses? So some of the other questions we ask people are, because of your vision, do you have difficulty reading the newspaper even while wearing glasses? Are you bumping into things when you're moving around the house? Are you having difficulty feeling safe when you're doing your cooking? Are you having difficulty reading the dollar bills and seeing what's a 5 or a 20? Do you have difficulty recognizing faces of people you know? Or are you even simply feeling sad or depressed about some aspect of your vision? If any of the questions asked have a yes, we encourage people just simply call me, speak to me, and I'll point you in the right direction and make sure that you get connected to something that you want and that would benefit you and inspire you to attain your own goals. Here is our contact information. My number is right at the top. Lighthouse Guild is here to help people to manage their lives with vision loss. And there's a lot of resources, and the aim is to make sure that people can connect to the existing resources that would help them. My phone number, which I'll say, and it's right here on the screen, it's 646-847-4615. I welcome you actually to share that number with anyone that has concerns about their vision. And if Lighthouse Guild is not what they need, I'm happy to refer people to something that would suit their needs better. I really just want to make sure that people don't just get anxious and shut down and not seek help from others. I am a social worker after all. So please send any friends or neighbors or colleagues or anyone you come upon that would benefit, share my phone number directly. And people are often surprised that a human being picks up the phone, because I do try to pick up whenever I can. And if I'm on the phone, I really do call right back when I can. All right. Thank you, everybody. It's been such a pleasure telling you about some of these services. I hope they can be useful to you or someone you know or someone you come upon. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Has anybody?
I have a question. When I have an app and I do solitaire on it, and is that okay for the eyes?
That's a good question. I mean, I think there's been some controversy about what, if any, damage happens from simply using a computer. So some people,
or the iPhone, or the iPhone.
the iPhone. Yeah. Well, you know, the only thing I've heard is that it's good not to do that stuff too late at night, because your eyes stimulate your entire nervous system through the light, and that it makes it harder to relax and fall asleep. So that's the only thing that I've heard that seemed incontrovertible. Does it harm your eyes itself? There's no research that I have heard that confirms that. And I've spoken to a few people and they've said it hasn't been confirmed. It's been suspected by some people anecdotally, but it hasn't really been confirmed from what I know.
So there's no specific time, not more than an hour a day or something like that.
I think that I have not heard of something like that.
Okay.
You always consult your doctor, but you know, people do have that concern. You're not alone in that concern. So if you find that your eyes feel strained, then it's certainly something to start to titrate for yourself to do less. And what I like to encourage people to do is to be sensitive to yourself. You know, sometimes the research is not available or it hasn't been done yet. And we have to be responsive. Like if we notice that the glare is making it hard to see our page, don't keep, pushing through, adjust the angle of the lamp and see if you can put on a cap, even if you're reading at home, a baseball cap, because that can keep some of the overhead glare out. So it really does take being alive to adjusting to make yourself comfortable. And I like to encourage people to do that.
Thank you.
Thanks for your question. Anyone else have a thought or a question?
I have a difficulty seeing the streets, even with glasses. I've always had problems, seeing. And I don't have my eye doctor, which I go to every year, is waiting and doesn't want to give me the regular, thing for eyes that people usually get because of my vision is very low. So I'm very happy to not go and to just use the vision that I have. But I don't think that's considered legally blind. It's just I don't see very well, even with glasses. And even sometimes I have to take off my glasses and stare at whatever I read to make it easier for me.
So I don't want to go too into your personal stuff, just to protect your privacy, but I do want to say that I have a question whether you've ever had a low vision exam, because sometimes it can be an opportunity to tint a lens in such a way that you can see more clearly. To me, it seems like it may be worth it. And I don't know if your eye doctor is a low vision specialist, especially trained in contrast sensitivity. But what you're talking about sounds like you have a hard time reading street signs. Is that right?
Right.
From that particular distance. So that's called distance glasses. And even people with impaired vision can try to get a distance prescription that would help them. It's to my thinking, it's worth a try, because the phrase you use, that's a sort of a red light, a light goes off in my head, is always when the glasses are no longer helping. That's the cue to get a low vision exam, because you may need some kind of accommodation that would help you beyond regular optometry visits.
And I would get that where?
At Lighthouse Guild.
And they
Yeah.
take my insurance?
I have to put all the information in. The ladies will do verification and find out, and then they'll get back to you and set up an appointment. So if they don't take your insurance, they'll let you know. But we take most insurances. There's only a
Great.
few perhaps we haven't. It depends on the plan. So we always have to do a verification process.
Excellent. Thank you.
My pleasure.
I think Irene, did you have a question?
I
Can
see
speak?
Irene's hand and Felice. Go ahead, Felice,
Yes.
you're talking. And then Irene, you're next, right?
Yes, I want to know if you have any tips for people with macular degeneration, like to prevent it getting worse.
Mm. I say speak very closely with your doctor and see what the doctor says, because each person may need something different. Is it wet or dry?
Dry.
And I think
That's a safer kind, right?
I understand that is less dangerous in terms of losing one's vision, but I also understand that there's no current treatment for it to
Yeah,
improve it. So you can always Google and see if there's any new thing. You can also, go into clinicaltrials.gov and see if there's any clinical trials on people with dry macular degeneration. I find that very interesting.
I do take Preservision.
And do you think it helps maybe?
Possibly. I mean, it doesn't harm.
Exactly. And I think that's a healthy attitude. Do as many things that could possibly help, even like eating carrots, eating green leafy vegetables. These are the ways that make sense. They're sort of logical. And as we get older, I think we realize just try to think it through as well as you can, and also then seek the advice of experts. But we have to do the basic stuff for ourselves, like eating green leafy vegetables and carrots. And, you can't get enough spinach.
Okay, so I do see a retina specialist.
And you can speak to each of your doctors to ask them for any suggestions that they would like to make. And also, what I also think, it may not be something I can say like what to do in your medical treatment direction, but I can say that there's a lot of apps, if you're using a smartphone, that can make things a little bit more accessible for you. And if you'd like to get an email from me with about 10 different apps that you could download from Google Play Store for free and see if they're helpful, please feel free to email me.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. I'm going to tell everybody my email address right now so you have it. My name, as you remember it, maybe, it's Lisa Miller. So it's millerl@lighthouseguild.org. And just let me know where you're from so I can have some familiarity.
Could you repeat that, please?
Yes. Miller, like the beer, Miller, MILLER, then L for Lisa and for love, at Lighthouse Guild, that's Lighthouse, and then GUILD.org.
Thank you so much.
I just put it in the chat.
Oh, Barbara, great. Thank you. Irene, you were going to say something. Thank you, Felice.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, what I was going to say is I had cataract surgery a few years ago and paid extra to have a better sight. And my doctor was very pleased. He said, it doesn't always happen, but I have 20/20 vision now, which is wonderful. But I always have an issue with the sun. And that's why I came to this, because I never know what is the right sunglasses. I don't need prescription, but I need sunglasses. And a lot of them are cheap and they're not good. And you gave me, now these are also for non-prescription as well as prescription. In other words, if I just go and get non-prescription, is it the same, the UV, like you told us?
You can absolutely try. But I also think that it doesn't hurt to have a low vision exam with a specialist who can give you a prescription to make sure that he tries the different tints with you to see what would help your eyes specifically.
I see. Even though I have 20/20 vision, you still can do that.
If you have an eye sensitivity, I think so.
Yeah, but there's another issue. I live in Florida.
Well,
you can't help me, right?
Unless I could do it telepathically, I don't think so.
And you
So-
know, Florida, I've been here 40 years, affects your eyes. There's a lot of sun. So I don't know if you know where I can get a low vision test here.
Well, you know what I recommend you do? Can you do a Google search, say low
Of course.
vision services near, and put in your zip code?
No, that sounds great. That
And then when
basically-
you speak to them, call them and you say, is this actually someone certified in low vision, or do you just help people that have vision problems? You know, ask them specifically if they have a low vision specialist.
Yeah, I think vision specialist is good, better than services. But like you said, it may just be selling glasses, you know.
Right,
Which
but
I don't
Google doesn't always like pick it all out perfectly.
Yeah.
So you have to call the people, you have to ask them.
Oh, I
specifically.
will.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. I
Sure.
appreciate it. I'm gonna go. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Irene.
Zoe B says she wears her polarized glasses whenever she goes outside.
Oh, you're reading
I
someone.
have to practice doing.
Zoe wrote that, right?
Yes.
That's such a good idea. And I think part of it is being disciplined with ourselves to make it convenient that every time we go out, we have the glasses and the cap right there. If it's a healthy habit and you can set it up to make it easy to do every day, you're doing yourself a kindness. We're the only ones that can take such good care of ourselves. And that's very important. Thanks, Zoe. Any other thoughts, comments, questions?
Vera, are you trying to say something? Are you talking to somebody?
Oh,
You're on mute if you are.
Vera, you're muted. Vera, you're muted.
Mute. Okay, can you hear
There
me
you
now? Okay, yeah, I already had cataract surgery 2014 and glaucoma surgery. And then 2015, I had the other eye done a year later. But I notice now that I'm suffering with dry eyes.
Mm.
Now, I go to my ophthalmologist twice, a year, every 6 months I go. And he says that my optic nerve is very healthy. And I just need to use the Restasis. Restasis is so expensive.
Mm.
So I Googled a couple that they claim that is just as good as Restasis. So what I'm going to do is just try them. Well, I have tried them and it's helping and my eyes are not as dry. And I wanted to find out, should I use an over-the-counter or should I just try the Restasis?
I don't have an opinion on that for you.
But other than that, my eyes are fine. The glaucoma surgery went well. And my eye pressure, at the time was like 29, 30, and I had it done. And I was borderline diabetic, but I don't take any pills of any kind for nothing. And I'm 88 years old. I take back the old 88 years young.
88's the new 40? How's that?
Okay. And I just had a birthday, July 5th.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing.
But I'm concerned about the sunglasses. And what I want to say, I have my sunglasses from the time I had the surgery. Can I wear those sunglasses, the ones that the doctor gave me that has the side vision? I can wear those, or should I just buy new sunglasses? Because I don't wear them at all.
I mean, why wouldn't you want to wear the glasses you have? Because that's a great way to avoid doing the next good thing if you just say, oh, no, they're no good. No, I mean,
No.
some-
I just wanted to know. So I'll take them out. I have them. I have 2 of them. And I'll just start wearing them whenever I go out. And I believe it will help the dry eye as well.
And when you go to your doctor, bring all your little paraphernalia, all your glasses and whatever, your
Oh,
cap.
no, I have to bring it. Yeah. I only have just one pair and they're reading
Sunglasses.
glasses. I don't use distant glasses anymore.
But also bring your sunglasses to see if the
The
doctor
sun-
thinks that they're a good
Oh,
choice.
okay. Well, they're the ones that he gave me when I had the surgery.
Ask him if he thinks that they're outdated or if they're okay. Ask
Okay.
the doctor. Yeah,
I most certainly when I see him in November.
good. Thanks
Okay.
for sharing that, Vera.
Okay.
Other thoughts, comments? Just
So
saying,
maybe
hey.
try